I'm trying to get y'all right. Hold up. I'm sorry, y'all. Like, I've been trying to do this all day. Like, I'm just tired, sick of it. I don't know if that worked. We're gonna see.
You could name 24. He was my favorite freshman just 2 years ago. ACL in this game as a freshman. Missed his whole sophomore year. He's back. He's 6'3". He's 230 for me. One of the top inside the sideline. And he's 6'5" and he's 260. And I've seen him play pickup basketball, windmill dunk, high-level tight end as well. Doesn't play a lot.
Hold up, y'all.
Most games, so you can see a bunch of body stats.
Trying to get y'all right. I know it's not the best, but they trying to block it.
Only two-way starter tonight for Jason Negro, St. John Bosco Braves. Third and short. They're going to run it again, and absolutely nothing there. Davison runs into the quarterback, Marcellus Williams.
No, because every single time I try to stream it on there, they're going to try to block it. That's why I'm like, okay. Hold on, here we go.
Brothers Mason and Max played Arizona State, USC. I always said Marcellus right there is the best football player in that family.
Okay, y'all, give me a sec. It's not the best, but goddamn, I'm trying to do the best for y'all.
Who averages 33 yards a punt, and he has pinned opponents inside the 20 7 times. Gets a big foot into this one. It'll go out of bounds up around
Probably gonna try to keep it like this.
25, maybe the 30-yard line. And we'll get our first look at St. John Bosco. The Braves on offense under the direction of Pierce Clarkson. 6-foot senior quarterback headed to Louisville.
Yeah, just like that.
Pierce, I mentioned Elijah, just he loves these big moments. That's Pierce Clarkson as well. He was kind of built for this stage. Dual threat kid. I think he's probably more dangerous with his legs
Hey,
right now.
I know it is, but hey, I'm trying to show y'all the whole game. Just chill. Dang, just watch.
Has some elite receivers. For me, the biggest matchup is Marty's corners against those Bosco receivers. You know, on the replay, looked like John Jay maybe had about a yard on him, right? The ball kind of hung a little bit underthrown, but it's just a throw that I think Pierce wants back. Because, I mean, he had 10 yards of running room in front of him.
Clarkson's 5th interception thrown this season. We're going to start all the way back
for a safety here, though.
Yep. Second drive for the Monarchs. And again, that hard count, there's going to be a false start, some movement on that left side of the line against Mater Dei. Jim Stickney.
Dead ball. False start on the offense. Number 72. 5 yards, half the distance to the goal, still first down.
Not much more room to go back.
I mean, every one of those linemen from Mater Dei are 300, 330, 340. Man, it's hard to get in your stance and hold that for a long time. So I knew we were trying to draw Bosco out, but sometimes it has a counter effect on your offensive line.
There's DeAndre Carter who moved there, running it here on first down. It's Davison with a head of steam out to the 5 to give him a little breathing room here.
Yeah, Jordan Davidson trains up in Northern California with the same group that has some guys you probably heard of, Najee Harris, Joe Mixon, Malik Brown, and they swear Jordan Davidson is the best in that group. So I'm like, hey, that's some lofty dudes right there. We'll see, but man, he's been pretty special this year so far.
Yep, Malik Brown was here last year. They got a 3-headed monster trying to make up for that this year. Davison, 8 yards per carry, 114 yards per game through the first 6 victories of the year for the Monarchs. 2nd and 5. Here's Davison trying to get the edge off right tackle. He runs for a first down up at the 11-yard line. Vaca Hansen, a Servite transfer, played in this game on this field about this time last year, but in a different uniform, making the stop.
He was an all-Trinity League guy, and just for those watching, Trinity League is probably the toughest league in California. Vaca Hansen played at Servite. He was all Trinity League guys, an offensive lineman and a defensive lineman last year. Played with Mason Graham, who's now at Michigan. But first down, but man, just watching that defense and how fast they fly to the football, man, that is some elite speed on that Bosco defense.
Yeah, there's a lot of folks that say this is the best ever at Bosco under the direction of defensive coordinator Chris King. 1st and 10 at the 11 where their first drive started. They wound up getting a first down on back-to-back penalties. Play action, Brown throws. Brown is a man open, and it's caught. It is Spencer Shannon to midfield, just his 2nd catch of the season. season for the Texas-bound tight end.
You know, what's funny about that, because we saw Spencer a lot this offseason playing 7-on-7, and he looked good. Like, he was able to get the ball down the field to make some plays. Does not get used that much. In Marty's offense, they have those big receivers outside, but I kept thinking, now they're going to unleash Shannon at some point this year. He's going to Texas. They're good at football. Here you have a guy who's going there, use him a little bit. Big play right there for the Monarchs.
Picked up 37 yards and a first down on his second catch of the season. His first catch went for all of 7 yards. Here's Davison, and nothing. He's met right at the line of scrimmage by Mateo Uiagalelei.
Look at the safety fell down on that previous play on Shannon. He had some decent coverage and kind of just lost track of the football. But again, nice job by Elijah and a nice job by Shannon. Right there, you mentioned Uiagalelei. Mateo, man, he comes off that edge. And again, until you actually see him up close, and he is enormous.
Doesn't say much, does he?
He's the opposite of DJ. DJ had this huge personality, and it was great. Mateo, both phenomenal kids, but just very different from a personality standpoint.
Of course, DJ, the starting quarterback these days at Clemson. 2nd and 10 from the 50. Brown gets rid of it quickly, and he gets it to their top target, Jordan Anovue. And Anovue is drilled back to the 50, but his forward progress gets him 3 yards to the 47.
I think we'll see that a lot of short drops and quick throws from Brown because, again, that Bosco pass rush is very good. For me, the game to the game is Mateo on the left side or the right side because Monterey has 2 elite 24 tackles, Brendan Baker and DeAndre Carter. So both those 2 guys are a battle test. They've played against some really good edge rushers over the last couple of years and more than held their own. So I'm curious to see how Mateo does if he lines up over Carter or Baker.
Big third down now on the Bosco side of the field at the 47. Let's see if the Braves bring pressure. They send a 4-man rush. Brown gets rid of it. Catch is made right at the first down marker by Wrestler. Yeah, I think he's going to be a yard short to the 41. He had a touchdown in this game last year. Remember that juggling catch on the road up in Bellflower?
So I thought he was going to get it when he first caught the football, and I think he's a half-yard shot.
Yes, he's a full yard.
I'm going for it, right? I mean, I always say it's high school football. It's modern day. It's Bosco. It's 1 and 2 in the nation. You got to go for it every chance you have a 4th and short.
Jack back from injury, missed a couple of games, 18 catches, 183 yards, 2 touchdowns coming in. They were a very young team. He's kind of the senior leader here, and they're going for it on 4th and 1.
Again, watch the long count again, right? Trying to maybe take advantage or see if they just. Looks like they did get some movement, but I don't think he crossed the line of scrimmage.
They let him get away with it. And there's a first down run. That's Davison, the super sophomore, just got across the line to gain.
Because that was Devin Bryant who hit him in the hole, and Bryant's going to Washington. And I think Kingston, William Oasa is probably their best defensive player, but Devin is probably the heart and soul of that defense. He's the leader. And I thought normally 8 out of 10 times, man, he's knocked my guy backward. Again, Davidson, 6 feet, 210, getting downhill. Nice job for Monterey. Pick up that 4th and 2.
Nate Frazier, the Pius 10 transfer, spells Davison in the backfield. So Bryant met Davison right at the line to gain, and then Davison's momentum put him across for an important first down on the second drive of the game. And just tripping there on a little zone read was Elijah Brown, so he's dumped in the backfield for what's going to be a loss of about 5.
Yeah, what Frazier brings to you is he's probably the fastest player on the field. He's a 10-7 100-meter guy in track, and he missed part of spring football because he was doing track, and he's the guy who, you know, he can hit the home run from anywhere on the field. He's got a 98-yarder this year. I mean, he's got some elite-level speed. If he gets past that initial line of scrimmage, not going to catch him from behind.
This was something that Bruce Rollinson in our call was afraid of, playing behind the chains early, right? He wanted to win on first down. This is the 9th play of the drive here. They've gotten to the Bosco Braves 42-yard line.
Really quick first quarter, right? And I think Monterey wants this. They kind of want to keep possession. You saw Bosco was kind of going to play fast.
Brown on the slant gets rid of it up to the 35-yard line. Marcus Brown, the catch. Remember, Marcus Brown had 3 touchdowns in that game we did against Centennial on the road. He loves playing on Valley.
He does. He wants that spotlight. That was Jay-Sean Frausto Ramos, a Stanford commit. Just about every single player on this team, either you can say he's committed somewhere or he's offers from about 18 different schools. Frausto Ramos kind of plays that, kind of moves him around.
Gets away from one, got the first down, and moves those feet He's inside the 25.
And what I didn't know about Frazier before the season, and I think it might have even surprised Coach Robinson a little bit, was we know he can run, right? But watch how many yards he gets after contact. Again, track guys aren't known for being physical running backs, right? There's a reputation. There he goes again.
Yep, they go up tempo, and Frazier gets it inside the 10, down to the 8. That's what the two teams
To
are doing.
finish the thought, Frazier can get some physicality on those runs. He finishes his runs a lot better than I thought. And obviously, you see the burst.
They're going quick again after the gain of 17. Handoff goes to Frazier again, and this time it's three guys led by Devin Bryant who bring him down. They were having none of that there.
Bryant was in there.
Yep, Kingston
Billy Almoasa,
in there as well.
I like that up-tempo, though, right? I think sometimes you kind of almost lull your own self to sleep. Get the ball, get up the field, and Frazier, man, he's got some juice.
Final seconds here of this opening quarter. Just the second drive of the game for the Monarchs, a long one, and they're just going to let the final seconds come off the clock. How about that opening quarter right now?
I'll take that. I'll take that quarter right there.
Elijah Brown rallying the troops. It's 1 versus 2 in not only California, but the United States of America. And it's scoreless after one quarter of play tonight from the Santa Ana Bowl. The Ford CIF Southern Section Game of the Week is brought to you by SoCal Ford. Southern California Ford dealers are proud to sponsor high school athletics. Built Ford proud. And by Jack in the Box. Spicy chicken strips are back at Jack in the Box for a limited time.
I got y'all. I just didn't want to get blocked by YouTube. That's why it's late. My bad.
Scoreless after one quarter of play. These are two opponents quite familiar with one another. Surprisingly, they didn't see each other twice last fall. They did play twice last year because of COVID, but not in the fall.
Yeah, Servite came up and upset them. And I actually thought it was Servite. I actually thought it was Bosco Mater Dei. Last year, the first time playing 1 versus 2, but it was actually IMG Academy was 2, Mater Dei was 1. But no, just some great games. You can go back. I think the rivalry started in 2016. That was JT Daniels' sophomore year. They ran through the regular season. The Bosco got them the final. Ever since 2016, and this has been, for me, the best rivalry.
But y'all know I got y'all, though. Just keep watching. I'm going to fast forward it through commercials and end of halftime so we can be almost close. Just make sure y'all like the video and support me. Thank y'all.
Got it on a 2nd and goal from the 9-yard line going in. Brown has plenty of time. Fires it. Wrestler just turns around. I think he took it right off the face mask. Had a catch earlier in the first quarter. Bring up 3rd and 9. 3rd and goal, rather.
Yeah, Deshaun in coverage there. And I think Jack did kind of get himself a little turnaround. Looked over his right shoulder, left shoulder. And the ball hit him in
Please
the
don't spoil the game, y'all. Please don't.
LAFC, he'd get a contract. That was on target, on goal, if you will, right off the top of his noggin. So that's the first incompletion by Elijah Brown in the game. And so 3rd and goal here from the 9-yard line. Opening seconds of this second quarter. Davison back in at the tailback spot. And the keep by Brown is going to roll right in for the touchdown.
And again, he does not do that very often. He has that capability. I think he's a better athlete than given credit for. And I've always said his mobility is more about escaping and throwing. At that time right there, again, at this game, all about breaking tendencies, right? If you don't see a quarterback who runs very much, you're not going to really have a defender going towards him. That time, take the zone read.
Please don't post the score.
Right. Elijah Flo do
Dave, please
right,
don't, because you're going to get blocked, banned from my page.
Touchdown. Can you remember his first
just
one?
Please.
You and I had a chance to call it on the goal line against Centennial on the road earlier this season.
I got brain fog, dude. I can't remember what happened yesterday, but I'm glad you remember that one.
Andre Medina, the ex-soccer player, kicked a game-winning field goal at Bishop Gorman on for the PAT. Jim Stickney.
Dead ball. Ball start. Offense. Number 42. 5-yard penalty. One time down.
4.7 GPA. This kicker has.
When all these teams play playoff season, be ready because I'm finna live stream those too, y'all.
Right there. 4.7. I didn't know you could even get it that high.
This one backs it up to a 25-yard extra point attempt. And that is good. That was a 14-play drive. Remember where it started? It started at the 1, then got backed up to the 1-foot line. Took 7 minutes. But Elijah Brown's in for the second time this season, giving Mater Dei their first lead of the night.
We also were doing some digging. We found some tickets, a 2-pack on eBay for $150, Steve. And I don't know what else to say other than welcome to high school football in Southern California.
I love high school football. I'm not paying $200, right? You can stay home and listen to us.
Yeah, I might tonight if it wasn't on TV. Denham back deep along with DeAndre Moore, awaiting the kickoff from Ryland Vagana, although Andre Medina handles the field goals and the PATs.
Looks like it's going to be a squib the way he didn't have the ball even on the tee. And that's one of the things about Mater Dei. They've been talking about their kicking game is usually they get the ball in the end zone. Not as much this year, so a lot of squibs.
Denham's going to chase it back, pick it up near the sideline at the 14-yard line, get a block. And DeAndre Moore is going to give him another block as he's going sideline to sideline. And they finally wrestle him down. A lot of effort for about 4 yards on that return there out near the 25-yard line.
We did a Centennial Norco game a couple years ago during that COVID year, and I saw Denham take one back to the house for Centennial for a kickoff return for a touchdown. He's an explosive kid, kind of a jack of all trades. He'll play some running back, some slot. He's a tough kid, physical kid.
All right, so here's just the second drive of the game, and it comes with 11:41 to go in the second quarter for the Braves. I guess this is a good way to slow down the mighty Braves offense, huh? Clarkson after the turnover, they're running it, and finding a hole to develop is Cam Jones. Runs into Jelani Davis, who's got 20 tackles now in the season.
He's been active. He's been really active. He's a good, physical, hard-hitting safety. The coaches love him. Number 55, Leviticus Sua. I mentioned Devin Bryant, heart and soul for Bosco. I think Leviticus Sua, captain for Mater Dei, super smart kid. He's been a 3-year captain for Mater Dei. So watch for some of those Cam Jones, Leviticus Sua collisions in the middle of that field.
Expect to see a whole lot of Cameron Jones. We didn't see Chauncey Sylvester be in there by now, dressed yet in this game. Zone read, keeper Clarkson puts his head down and gains the first down up near the 35-yard line. It's Jelani Davis again with another stop.
Zeus Venegas just absolutely killed the running back, and it fooled me. And then Pierce kept it. And like I said, I think Pierce, he hasn't run the ball a lot so far. I think they kind of want to protect him early on in the year. I think tonight, the plan, maybe unleash him a little bit with those legs.
Has up over 200 yards rushing now on the season. Venegas, remember his coach, elevated him this year from the mean kid last year as a sophomore to a bad man as a junior. They crowd the line, hand off Jones, and he runs right into Leviticus Sua. A gain of maybe a yard to the 35, and Nasir Wyatt in there as well.
And then Zeus, Venegas, he's not just a mean guy. I mean, he's a good football player. And he's been making plays since his sophomore year. Kind of one of the more under-recruited guys that I've seen from Mater Dei. He absolutely comes off that edge, takes off a block, does a little bit of everything. He's got some pass rush ability to him, strong against the run. Sua, Nasir Wyatt. Wyatt, for me, special pass rusher. Looking forward to seeing him off that edge and see if he can do some damage.
Empty backfield now as Jones goes in motion right. Clarkson surveying the field. Pressure comes backside from Aiden Breland. Throw, and the catch is made by Jaleel McClain, who's Louisville bound as well with his quarterback Clarkson. Biggest gain on offense of the night here for the Braves.
Yeah, again, I thought Pierce wisely did not listen to me. I'm like thinking to myself, take off, Pierce, take off. Don't force it. Jaleel McClain, I talked to Pierce's dad, Steve Clark, this week. He said, Jaleel McClain, that's the guy to watch. He goes, he's kind of been a little bit banged up. He's healthy now. He said, that's the pick to click tonight was Jaleel McClain.
32 yards and a first down to the 33-yard line of Mater Dei. Clarkson takes off, cuts back between the hash marks. Penalty comes out. This thing's likely coming back as he scampers out of bounds, takes a hit at the 20, and there are two more flags thrown. Three total flags.
I'm going to assume the first one was probably holding, and then there was probably a couple other things going on that we didn't get to see because it was behind the play. They might have called a hit out of bounds right there on the Clarkson tackle, and there might have been something in the middle of the field. That's kind of my quick summary.
Yeah, I think
Pierce out of breath.
Here's Jim Stickney, the official, who, by the way, Rollo told us he checks the officials. They do a lot of analytics for this game, and he also went back in the vault to see who was reffing the game, and he's like, we haven't had Jim yet in a while.
Block below the waist on the offense, 13. That penalty is declined. Holding on the offense, number 71. That penalty will be enforced from the spot on foul, 10 yards, still first down.
Wow. So Denham, that penalty on Denham wiped out, then they take the hold on King Large. The 6'3", 295-pound junior, every bit worth the name King Large.
Yeah,
Yes.
no, I've seen him a lot doing the giant skills, lineman competitions. King Large, man, he elevated himself this offseason. He made a jump.
So instead of having it in the red zone, now you have it at the modern-day 48-yard line.
But you're seeing what Clarkson can do, right? When the play breaks down, he's almost more dangerous. When the play breaks down, he's capable.
Here's Jones right through the middle. Oh, he had one man to beat in Davis. Yep.
Deshaun Foster, UCLA running back, coaches tweeted, if you're an elite running back, that first guy never brings you down. Always got to make that first guy miss. Almost had him. Jelani Davis, man, big game for him so far.
Boy, can they run the rock. Over 1,300 rushing yards through 6 games. That's an average of 221 yards. They got 13 there. Running behind that big line with so many interchangeable yards. They had 205 rushing yards at half against Kahuku, and we saw him a few weeks ago. Running again, big hole opens up. Davis, another stop.
Gashing him up front. Sean Haney, their center, one of their coaches told me this week he might be the strongest player they've ever had in terms of weight room stuff, the squats, the cleans, and whatnot. They said Sean Haney does some lifts that are just unbelievable. So he's a 6'2", 280-pound senior, and just not getting a lot of love right now from college coaches, but they feel this season has really helped him. Can play center or guard at the next level, but yeah, right between those tackles, Bosco's gashing him.
Big third down coming up now for Bosco, their second drive of the game.
It's 4 down toward territory either way, right? Just probably they'd love to get it right here, obviously.
Coming up on 8 minutes to go before halftime. And running it is Clarkson, and nothing is there. Stopped at the line of scrimmage. Semi Tulanga. All 310 pounds of a sophomore, stopping the progress of Clarkson.
Just a good football player. Semi Tulanga, really good football player. Tough and active. Strong as heck, man. Leverage. When you're 6 feet and that wide, man, it's hard to move that guy around.
Simi there is going to get a chance to retire at the Royal Suite at the Waldorf. It's now 4th down. You were right, it's 4 down territory, but this is not as manageable as you would think. 4th and 6. The number 1 team in the nation. Can they keep the drive going against the number 2 team in the nation? Clarkson looking to his sideline, and his offensive coordinator, Stephen Lowe. Some early movement, flag doesn't go up. Clarkson in a bit of trouble, and down he goes, back at the 35-yard line. R.J. Finiaganofo with a sack.
Dude, you absolutely killed that guy's last name. Nice job. I say kill, I mean you nailed the last name, R.J. I would have said R.J., but you did a great job. He's kind of like one of their designated pass rushers. His pop's on the staff, and they do a great job getting up the field. Modern day, huge stop for the Monarchs.
Turn them over on downs. So far, the second-ranked team in the nation having their way with number 1 ranked St. John Bosco. Back to the Santa Ana Bowl after this. Modern day's defense up to the challenge. 2 consecutive drives. They have a takeaway, and they just turn the Braves over on down. It's time for some fun facts for our national audience, right? Modern Day High School located in Santa Ana, California, just a stone's throw, as we mentioned, from where we are at the Santa Ana Bowl, just down the street from Disneyland as well. 115 Santa Ana championships. They used to be a big basketball school. 3 Heisman Trophy winners. Well, Sierra Canyon, right, with the sons of NBA players. Kind of knocked them off their perch, but Garrett McKnight's team will be back. 3 Heisman Trophy winners, the last being Bryce Young, who Elijah Brown took over for and hasn't lost since.
Their quarterback pedigree, I mean, you can go back, Nick Stremick, Billy Blatton, so many dudes at quarterback, and former OC Dave Money, just that system They do a great job with it.
John Hewart and then Matt Leinart. Did you see that video with Matt Leinart?
That was funny. Matt's fun.
Who was
He's
the
a fun
quarterback
guy.
for the Bush push?
His son's freshman quarterback right now from Mater Dei. They beat Bosco yesterday.
Yes, he's the backup
Cool
here.
liner.
First down and 10 from the Mater Dei 36. So there's some movement. Vaca Hansen, the nose guard, who came over with his brother Coy.
Dead ball. Defense. Number 67. 5-yard penalty. Repeat. First down.
And again, self-inflicted stuff, right? We talked about that before the game. And when Bosco plays against Mater Dei and when the games they've lost, it's just been a lot of self-inflicted turnovers or errors. Or that's like the 4th offside so far, the second quarter only.
See the smirk there by Jason Negro in his 13th year turning this program around. 3 state championships, 2 national championships, wants another one here. Give him another free 5 yards.
Yes, we got Uwe on the way now over Brennan Baker on that left-right side.
Elijah Brown, 23-0 as the starting quarterback. He's beaten Bosco twice. He's got a lead here. The handoff goes to Ajon Bryant. And Ajon Bryant returned last week to the lineup after being injured in a 0-week game on this field against West High School out of Utah.
It's good to see him back. He's fun. He's a fun kid and a fun player. He's got some wiggle to him. Last year, him and Malik Brown, they were like twins when you watch them play. Ton of wiggle.
Just 4 games in the early season before returning against Sarah. Looking for a hole to develop there. Ajon Bryant, he runs into Uiagalelei.
And that's what Coach Rawlinson was saying they did not want him to do, right? Too much dance in the backfield. Get up the field. Just get up the field. Don't look for the big play every time. Just give me 3 or 4 yards rather than a loss of maybe 1 or 2 right there.
Another flag on the play here.
Personal foul. Face mask. On the defense, number 44. 15-yard penalty. First down.
They get the sophomore Max Amasio. And so there's another self-inflicted wound.
Max Amasio and Vaca Hansen are actually brothers. Dinah Jane, who did the national anthem and was awesome, she's also their sister. Yep, there it is.
Yeah.
I'll say sometimes it's kind of hard to see that, but when you rip the guy's helmet off, Aaron Donald style.
Yeah. It was BJ.
I think Aaron Donald was just trying to give the guy's helmet back to him, though. I don't think he meant anything malicious there. I think Amasio can't do that.
BJ, the setter, 4-year starter for Mater Dei. That's something. But Elijah Brown will be as well. First down and 10 now at the 38-yard line. Are they showing some pressure? We'll see from the corner safety spot they are. And Brown goes down. And guess who? It's Ty Lee, the UCLA-bound senior. We could see that developing up here.
We could. I like the way Ty Lee plays. He's kind of that hybrid. He's a safety. He'll play outside linebacker, actually, for UCLA. But, man, he came flying off that edge. And if you're Elijah Brown, you kind of have to feel that, right? He kind of sensed it. Peripheral vision, man, just throw the ball away. Took a big loss. But, yeah, Ty Lee, huge hitter as well, man. When he comes and meets a player in the hole, he's knocking you backward.
Great blitz dialed up by defensive coordinator Chris King, who's in his 13th season with Jason Negro. That's the 14th sack of the season for this Bosco defense.
These are probably my 2 favorite, not to alienate anybody else, probably my 2 favorite DCs. And people think, oh, it's Bosco, Marley's rolled the football out. No, I mean, they do some high-tech scheming and really do a nice job mixing some things up.
Early movement again. This could be a false start against Mater Dei. Puts him well behind the chains.
Dead ball. False start on the offensive line. 5-yard penalty. Repeat. Second down.
Well, you know, they were behind the chains on second down on that 99-yard touchdown drive. So Rollinson's team has overcome that adversity earlier in the game.
I think right now, Mater Dei and Coach Rollinson, they love the tempo of this game. And I think coming in, most people thought, hey, Bosco, they probably have a few more weapons offensively. You got to keep the ball away from them. This is like old school Mater Dei. Before Matt Barkley came in, they went air raid. Old school 1980s, early 90s, but it was smash mouth football. Mike McNair just being more tough up front than anyone else.
2nd and 20, they're going to run. You see the defensive line slanted right to the hole that Ajon Bryant was running to. Devin Bryant, the Washington-bound senior, with a stop.
Yeah, I couldn't tell if that was supposed to be a direct snap to Ajon or it never made it back. Ajon kind of made a nice job grabbing it from the ground, but yeah, that was an odd-looking play from the get-go.
Brings up 3rd and 21 now for a Mater Dei team that was trailing after the opening kickoff. Last week in their Trinity League opener against Jay Sarah, they had to hang on to win 21-13. They're 6-0 overall, 1-0 in the Trinity League, which last year had 3 teams in the top 10 nationally. Little RPO, and Boy, that is something you don't see much. Elijah Brown and one of his receivers not on the same page brings up 4th and long. They got a punt.
Yeah, I think you credit Bosco. I think they read that play really well. They knew it was going to be a little wide receiver screen, and rather than rushing forward, they sensed it, fell back. There was nothing open. I think Elijah kind of wisely just tried to throw it to some open area, but nice job by Bosco's defense. They had the ball with the 30-yard line, first down, and kind of went backward 20 yards at the end of that drive.
Looks like it's Woodyard and Denham back deep, 2 to receive the punt from Sam Fanua. Had a big one last time. Elijah Brown started 5 for 5, partner. He's missed on his last 2 attempts. Breaking news. Woodyard says, stay away from this, and it got touched right at the 25-yard line. Could have been disastrous. Picked up by Hunter Noel, who's San Jose State bound. So he's going to San Jose State. There's a bunch of guys who preceded him now at the college level and moved on even to the National Football League for St. John Bosco. And depending on who you see in this game, there's 70-plus Division I guys between the two teams. There's your next-level Bosco Braves players.
I can look at those guys and almost remember what they were like in high school. Speedy Luke just going 80 whenever he wanted to. Jaden Woodby, big-time safety. Nate Burrell made one of the biggest plays in that 2019 game, when Bosco rallied. Obviously, you know about DJ and man, really good football players. Bo Collins playing with DJ right now at Clemson.
Here's a give, and they change it up. Khalil Warren. So he runs for a first down. Remember last year they had the three-headed monster of Jabari, Speedy, who we just saw, and Hayes. This year it's supposed to be Sylvester, Jones, and Warren. Jones would be the third guy, but we haven't seen Sylvester yet. We don't think he's going to play. And look at the little bowling ball. Just jukes out a few guys.
I like that.
Looks a little like Raleek Brown and runs for another first down into modern-day territory.
Tell you what, Khalil, I mean, he's only 5'8", but he's like 230, so you can say, man, he might be short, but he's not small. I would not want him running into my house, more or less me. I'm surprised he didn't turn that up the field and just take someone out just because he can. He's a powerful human being, Khalil Warren.
A little human joystick there for a 17-yard gain. That was what we called Raleek Brown last year. Had a wonderful season for Mater Dei, who won the Division I championship in the CIF Southern section, won over Servite. Handoff, and this time going absolutely nowhere, and stopped in the backfield is Warren. Leviticus Sua, his team-leading 30th tackle.
Heart and soul of that defense. Leviticus Sua, Stanford, Arizona, the Washington schools, UCLA, all in there. But yeah, Leviticus Sua takes on the block, makes the tackle in the backfield. Coach Rollinson cannot talk enough about how much he loves Leviticus Sua. Again, it's hard to be a captain for Mater Dei for 3 years in a row as a sophomore. You got to really have the respect of your teammates. That's Leviticus.
Second and long. They're behind the sticks, and it is Warren again, and Warren gets popped and then dropped at the 50. It's going to bring up 3rd and long. Christian Patero out of his safety spot with the tackle.
Yeah, those safeties, man, they fly up the field. We've already seen Jelani, and there you see Christian Patero. Man, those guys get up the field, and they're excellent tacklers.
This is a bit of a surprise here. You have Mater Dei with a 7-0 lead. St. John Bosco playing from behind early in the game for the second straight week. Remember, they were behind Servite 3-0 in the first quarter. Plays of 10 yards or more, Bosco has 6 of them. Mater Dei only has 2. And yet, the number 1 team in the country trails 7-0. Coming up on 3 minutes to go in a swift-moving first half.
Still waiting for DeAndre Moore to get loose. That was my key guy to watch for Bosco. I think he's very, very tough to handle.
Haven't targeted him yet, and down goes Clarkson. Back at his own 45-yard line. Patero has a 4th tackle for a loss on the season. He's been doing that all year, partner.
Yeah, and that's their safety. And again, that's what I so love about Mater Dei's defense and Eric Johnson. You never know where the guy's coming. You never know where the blitz is coming. It could be an outside backer. It could be an inside guy. It could be a corner. We saw Patero twice run blitz, and now pass blitz. Takes Clarkson down, and that's some really good defense right there from Mater Dei. It's a weird vibe right now. I feel like Bosco can move the ball effectively, but they're not. They're getting you a chunk here and a chunk there, then a negative play. Then a big run, and then a negative play.
Hurt themselves with the penalties. So 3 drives for the number 1 team in the nation. And they have turned it over on an interception. They've been turned over on downs. Now they call a timeout prior to punting.
Timeout,
4th and 19.
Bosco.
Jason Negro's team is 6-0, 1-0 in the Trinity League, as we mentioned. They eventually beat Servite last week. They were behind 3-0 late in the first quarter and then rolled off 49 uncontested points.
You know what this game reminds me of, and easy segue was 2018. Bosco Mater Dei in the final. And Jason will say, and for me too, that was probably Jason and Bosco's best team ever, the 2018 team. They had blown out Mater Dei in the regular season. Final comes around, and Mater Dei's defense played lights out. I think they only held Mater Dei to like 17 points, but they just couldn't move the ball. Bosco couldn't move the ball. Mater Dei ended up beating them. And I think to this day, Jason said, man, that was my best team. We just couldn't move the ball. This team, again, their defense is so good offensively right now, though, not able to put any points on the board.
Marcus Lee to punt now. He averages 38 yards a punt. If there was one weakness last year for Bosco, it was the kicking game, especially punting-wise and snapping.
Take that one.
Yep, they've got it cleaned up this year. And a fair catch signaled inside the 15-yard line and grabbed by Derek Drayton. So the starting field position will be back around the 13-yard line.
I think Mater Dei would be very content. There's a minute 53 left to just run the ball out, run the clock out, and go into halftime up 7-0. If they can hit a big play, they'll take it. But I would not be surprised if they keep the ball on the ground and just try to take the lead into halftime.
All right, Greg Biggins, you are the senior recruiting analyst for 24/7 Sports. How about your top guys in Southern California?
I don't know about senior. I'm just a little guy out here in the West.
I promoted you tonight. You're doing a great job in the first half.
I appreciate that.
We'll talk about the top guys after this play here. Elijah Brown comes back out. Misfired on his last two after going 5 for 5 to open up the proceedings. First down and 10 at their own 13-yard line. They were pinned at the 1-yard line and scored on a 99-yard drive. Here's Davison's got the edge and the first down. He's out of bounds on the Bosco sideline. Far side, Devin Bryant runs him out. That's a gain of 13 yards on the first down.
Is he still over there? I haven't seen him get up yet. Hopefully he's okay. Or am I just blind? Did he get back in the huddle?
I don't see any red jerseys over there. I see a guy in a red shirt. It's enemy territory, man. You got to
That's what I'm saying. They could like dogpiled on top of him, not letting him up.
1:47 to go. Mater Dei has its full complement of timeouts.
Kingston off the edge right there.
Hand off, and Mateo Uiagalelei with a stop of Jordan Davison.
He's so mild-mannered, Mateo. It's funny.
Didn't have a lot of work in the summer, right? The 7-on-7.
He had a leg injury that actually, he had his foot in a boot for a long time. I'm like, man, you're making me nervous. Guys are playing Allen, Texas pretty soon. They need you. He's like, I'll be fine.
2nd and 7 here. 1:17 and counting to go in the first half. Brown, plenty of time, throws it left, and almost a one-handed grab by Jordan Novue, who yesterday had an offer to play at Colorado State. Wow, what an athletic move.
Yeah, the former Mater Dei wide receiver coach James Finley is now at Colorado State. That against Aaron Williams right there.
Yeah, great coverage by the Centennial transfer.
I think he is so good. I think Williams is one of the, top 10 easy corners in the country. He's long, he's 6'1", he can run, he's tough. He'll fly up and run support.
He too headed to Louisville.
He is headed to Louisville, but I do think he'll take a visit to Georgia. So we'll see. Georgia's pretty good.
DeAndre Moore, Pierce Clarkson headed there.
Little surprised to see him put the ball in the air right there, because again the clock stops. Got a minute 9 left. You might give Bosco one last chance unless you pick up the first down right here.
Play action on 3rd and 7, and look at Aaron Williams get to a Novue after the catch and dump him. It's 4th down.
Right, now you got to see Bosco's going to go ahead and use a timeout. They're going to hit the ball back with a minute left. So that drive had a little bit of a weird vibe. I thought the way it started off, hey, just run the clock out, run the ball a couple times. Yeah, Aaron Williams, man, he can close on the football. Really, really special talent.
20 tackles for the Centennial transfer, 1 pick for number 4.
I don't think they knew how good he was. Talking to some of the Bosco players and coaches, even some of their parents, like, dude, Aaron Williams, oh my gosh. Like, they had no idea that he could play like that. Like, this guy is special. We know what special is. We've had guys here every year. Like, Aaron Williams he's got a little different stuff to him.
They're going to put 4 seconds back on the clock.
1 minute and 3 seconds.
1:03 is what it'll go up. Coming up at the half after a swift-moving first half, Joey back on campus. And we're going to visit with Dave Anderson, the former Houston Texan, Colorado State Ram, and a great receiver at Thousand Oaks. He's working on a new app, breakaway data, So if you're a high school parent, you're going to want to see my feature with him. And then, of course, stats and highlights coming up.
Dave and Ben Olsen were a cheat code back in the day at Thousand Oaks. Those guys were really fun.
How about 4 straight incompletions now for Elijah Brown after he opened up at 5 for 5. He's a 69% passer on the season for now up over 1,400 yards. A career now against St. John Bosco. He has 9 touchdowns, no interceptions, and last year had a 5-touchdown game in this very rivalry.
But not a lot of separation for those receivers. That was one of my keys to the game was, Ken, those modern-day receivers are good, but they're young. You know, there's no Cooper Marquette. There's no C.J. Williams out there this year. Those guys, you know, they could get some separation. So modern-day secondary, maybe their best they've ever had. So kind of a game within the game. Yeah, Elijah's 0 for whatever, but not a lot of room for him to throw the ball either.
Third punt of the first half for Sam Fanua. Again, it's Woodyard back, along with Denham.
Nice kick.
That is a great kick. Remember, I told you he's pinned opponents inside the 20 7 times this year, making an 8th as they covered up at the 19-yard line. And he's a big backup linebacker, for goodness sakes. All right, I wanted to promise, since I promoted you to senior now, recruiting analyst, your players to watch in Southern California while we have them.
So I think you're going to see some quarterbacks on the board, and this is the year of the quarterback, not just in California, but nationally. Been doing this for a long time, Steve. This might be the best quarterback class that I've ever seen. Everyone knows about Arch Manning, Dante Moore, Christopher Vizina, all those guys. I think Nico and Malachi are right there with them. Obviously, there's Mateo, Mekhi Lemon, for me, a top 3 or 4 wide receiver.
We'll see Nico next week. He's headed to Tennessee. It'll be Warren at Downey, which is always the best atmosphere. Say what you will about this one, that is incredible. We saw it firsthand last year. Clarkson to throw on first down, gets rid of it, and just fires a rocket fastball. That is caught, the Garrett Cole fastball without 2-seam action on it. Caught by Izzy Polk, his second grab of the game.
Max Scherzer going, I don't know what he was doing tonight, but Padres?
Yeah, I haven't looked yet. I have a DVR.
Okay, so you know what, I just ruined the whole game for you.
No, not at all. And a keeper by Clarkson. And Clarkson has the first down up at the 34-yard line. That'll stop the clock while they move the chains. They still have 2 timeouts left. This is 1 versus 2 in the nation. For Bosco, they had an interception thrown at the goal line. They've turned it over on downs. They've punted. This is just their 4th drive of the first half.
A little bit of adversity for the Braves right now, Steve. And again, not trying to downplay this game because it's awesome and this is some high-level football, but I think there's a great chance that they're going to play again. So I just, if you lose it, yeah, you know what? I think you're motivated. And like I said, these teams have played 4 times since 2016, twice. And 3 of those 4 times, the team that lost the league game has won the championship game.
Reset the game clock to 24 seconds. Timeout was called by St. John Bosco. They have 1 left. So they meet a second time, most likely at the Rose Bowl. Day after Thanksgiving, November the 25th in Pasadena. It'll be the high school version of the granddaddy of them all. We'll open up the California Hall of Fame for high schools. So that could be just a tremendous game there. This one was supposed to be played at SoFi, at least we thought, right? Modern Day decided, okay, we want to play it here, have the home field advantage. And Bruce Rollinson said, when I told the guys we were not going to play at SoFi, I went in the locker room. He said he was scared, and the guys just cheered. They said, nope, we want to be in front of 9,000, maybe 12,000 with standing room only.
It's funny, people were talking, modern day, they were afraid. They don't want to go get beat down in front of Bosco at the SoFi Stadium. And right now they're up 7-0. I personally, maybe I'll be the odd guy. I like it here. I feel like it's just, I love this atmosphere. I think the players are going to play better in a little bit of a close-knit type of environment versus playing at SoFi where it's so huge and massive.
I think this game will be there next year. I think Bosco was a little disappointed about not playing it there, and it'll be their home game next year, so if they so choose, we can play at the home of the Rams and the Chargers.
The way the Rams are playing, I don't want them to jinx either of these 2 teams, right?
24 seconds to go. Ball's at the 35-yard line. Clarkson. And Clarkson's going to take off, and Clarkson goes down for a loss of 2 yards. It'll be second down, and they'll probably want to call one more timeout. Let's see, or they'll be content. Probably just going to the locker room down 7-0 at this point.
I'd be content.
Yeah, you got to make some adjustments.
If you're Jason Nagle, you probably say, hey, you know what? Not a great first half. We're down 1 score.
4 drives for St. John Bosco. 0 points. and they wind up turning it over on their second drive, and Mater Dei puts together a 14-play, 99-yard drive in 7 minutes that started in the first quarter.
Your high school, your college.
We'll start with Mater Dei pitching the shutout and get.
I see a snap infraction and just some silly stuff. That's on you, and I know that's what drives Jason Negro nuts.
Huge third down behind the chains here for Sanchez in relief of Clarkson, who's in concussion protocol. Dodges the pressure. Now he takes off. Leviticus Sua has him up high, and down low it's R.J. Finiaganofo who gets there first.
And again, that smart play, right? Because there was nothing. I was looking downfield. There was nothing there. And a young quarterback, he wants to get in there, make a big play, and kind of announce his presence with authority. There was nothing there. The smartest thing he could have done, Caleb, just take the hit and go down. Don't try to force the ball down the field and get it picked off.
St. John Bosco's going to punt again. Boy, in the first half, they had the turnover, which led to a Mater Dei touchdown. They were turned over on downs. They punted. They had the ball at the end of the half. And now they'll punt to open up this third quarter of play and give it back to Mater Dei, who leads 7-0. This is Marcus Lee to punt. They almost got to it. Lee gets it off. And it's short. And it goes right to about where the first down make was at the 40-yard line. So great starting field position for Elijah Brown and company as they try and knock off the #1 team in the nation. We have a late flag here by the official before we go to the break. That was a 10-yard punt by Marcus Lee. Here's Jim Stickney. I think his crew's called a pretty good game.
They have. Every call that they've called, we've seen the replay, and it's been a legitimate call. Yep. This is going to be a unsportsmanlike on somebody.
Dead ball, personal foul on the defense, number 12. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Oh, instead of this drive starting at the 39-yard line, they're going to march it up 15 more yards. When we come back. Young in 2021. He picked up the Heisman the same day they were picking up a national championship down the road in South Orange County in December. Might Elijah Brown be the next one? He's not committed. He's got a bunch of offers, but man, he's 23-0.
Yeah.
And he has never goofed up even once in this rivalry. The third time he's faced St. John Bosco, he's 2-0 against him with 9 touchdowns, no picks, and he ran for one, the only score of the game. This drive starts at the 24 on a first down and 10. The short field after the penalty. Play action, throw out. Adovwe has it. Adovwe gets dropped for a loss on the pass, a loss of 2 yards.
Yeah, Mater Dei's got to move the ball a little bit, and against a lot of teams, those little wide receiver screens will work because they can out-physical the other defensive backs, the wide receivers who are blocking. They got blown up, and Anube just got shut down for a loss of a 1 or 2. But they have to move the ball and try to get at least 3 points here because their defense is playing too well. You got to think Bosco eventually is going to come around and score, though.
Loss of 2.
What's wrong with the camera?
12. Out of the 26-yard line. Hard count, a couple of them. They're going to run. It's Davison weaving his way through the tackles. Let's get it down to Anna, who's got an update that injuries are mounting now on the defensive side for the Braves. Anna?
They are. Steve Tiley, number 22, will not be out there in the secondary for St. John Bosco. But remember, this DB group is pretty stacked, so not as much of a loss as maybe losing.
What's wrong with the camera?
Clarkson.
Yeah, they're very deep. They play about 23 guys. They run them through on defense. So now you got Tiley out. Here's Clarkson out. Chauncey Sylvester out as well.
Yeah.
Talk about mounting adversity here. 3rd and 5. Just inside of 8 minutes to go in the third quarter. First drive of the second half here for Mater Dei. And Brown on a play action will throw right, and on the slant, Marcus Harris, the sophomore, who has an offer from Oregon and Colorado. They bring up 4th and 1.
Yeah, about half a yard short, looks like.
This is 4-down territory,
You think
right?
so?
It's got to be, right?
I almost wonder, though, if you kick the field goal here, making a 2-possession game, usually I'm like, go for it every single time. But Big Zeus is going in. I mean, we did the Centennial game, man. He came in on fullback and just murdered somebody.
You pointed that out, and I went back and watched it. I was like, wow, I can't believe I missed that. That was
Then he laid on top of the guy for like 8 minutes, right?
He did. So this right here is going to go to Davidson with Zeus Venegas, number 74, blocking. Can they get it on 4th down? Handoff. Davison. Did he get across the 15 for a first down? I don't think so. I think they stopped him. This would be huge for the Braves defense. They come out of the pile saying they stopped him. The officials say they, in fact, stopped him. It's Bosco's ball. Oh, what a ball game, Biggie.
Yeah, let's see, Davidson. It looked like he stumbled before he even got to contact and was already starting to go down. That's one of those plays where you want your running back just meeting contact head on, and he was already starting to stumble, bumble a little bit.
The kick-out block was attempted by Semi Tulanga. He just couldn't free Davison, so they turn him over on downs. Whole lot of nothing to open the third quarter for both teams. Sanchez back out there. Here's Warren trying to get the edge, and he's brought down. That's going to be a face mask penalty, though. And that is Adula Sanders, who backs up Bramir Davis and Nasir Wyatt at the outside linebacker spot.
Yeah, no, it was.
I need somebody to comment down below.
Warren's a tough guy to bring down the open field, but I guess we saw why he was able to do it with the face mask.
Yes, exactly. This is Jim Stickney.
Personal foul. Face mask. On the defense, number 25. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Let's see this here again. I'm not sure they got the number correct. Not 25, but instead 32. Dual Sanders. Oh, yeah. So now a self-inflicted wound for Mater Dei keeps the drive going. Up to the 28-yard line, a first down and 10 for the unbeaten #1 team in the nation. Play action, a throw and a catch for a first down. Jaleel McLean, a Louisville commit. Jelani Davis brings him down, but he's got enough for the first down.
Yeah, this is a huge drive. You know, Captain Obvious, huge drive for Bosco. They can get Sanchez some confidence. Jaleel McLean, the guy can get open. Elusive after the catch as well. And Bosco can get some action. Their defense is playing lights out right now. Again, Mater Dei, you can't ask for a better opportunity in that last drive. He got shut down on 4th down.
Sanchez in relief. Handoff goes to Warren. He gets hit behind the line of scrimmage. Still stays on his feet. Hurdles a man. Are they going to throw a flag there? Normally you can't do that. But his forward progress is fantastic. They may mark him down here at the 42. One referee went to the 42 as if he got the first down, and now the flag comes out at the 44 on the Bosco side. Can't do that in high school football.
I hate that call.
So do I.
I used to hate not being able to return a kickoff out of the end zone. I didn't understand it, but I guess I kind of do. You don't want the head-on collisions. But I don't understand the hurdling thing. It's obviously a safety issue, but on a play.
We have no flag on the play.
They're
No
gonna let
flag
him
on the play.
They pick it up. They're going to let him play, Biggie.
And what a run, though. How many tackles did he break, right? Breaks 2 on that one play. That's
Runs
a third
into
one.
Aiden Breland initially.
Hurdles a guy.
Wow.
Takes him another one on.
That's video game type stuff. Now, they
Yeah.
didn't give him the first
not
down. They
foul,
marked
was
him out of bounds at the Mater Dei 48-yard line officially. So it's going to be 2nd and 2 upcoming.
He's kind of just feel, though, right? The field's kind of starting to tilt a little bit. Confidence is on that Bosco sideline right now.
Again, all in relief. Caleb Sanchez for Pierce Clarkson, who didn't come out to start the second half at quarterback. Just a 3-man rush. Sanchez scrambling for the first down marker. It'll tiptoe out of bounds right there at the 44. You can move the chains.
It just barely gave him that spot.
They must be, for the Braves, they must be like, last week Junior came in with only 167 yards on the ground through 6 games.
They didn't like him, though. And even though Chauncey's not playing right, they were going to run both those 2 guys and a lot, right?
They call him deceptively fast. Chauncey Sylvester's really the speed guy, but again, before the ball game, we got word he wasn't going to play due to an illness. And Cameron Jones back in. He's got a hole. He gets away from the safety. Still on his feet, protecting that ball. Moves over the feet down to the 14. What a run by Cam Jones.
Yeah, that would be a tired-looking defense right there. Not just that play, but the last 3 or 4 plays. The first guy is not taking the running back for Bosco down to the ground. They're breaking multiple tackles right now. They're playing fast, up-tempo.
Timeout, Mater Dei.
It's a wise timeout.
It is an incredibly wise timeout. And he put his shoulder down into Xavier. It's another one of those big plays of 10 yards or more. It covers 26 yards, and that's the 6th first down of the first half under the direction of the backup Caleb Sanchez. What a story this would be if Caleb Sanchez could somehow pull this out in relief for the #1 team in the nation.
I mean, it's just been a ground and pound type of game, right? Caleb didn't have to throw to McLean.
Just a little.
But it's just been physical, running back. For me, old school Bosco football. This is what I always remember them. Going back to 2016 when they won their CF championship. And even with Josh Rosen, it was Sean McGrew. I thought was kind of the leader on that offensive attack. And then 2016, it was moving Wyatt Davis from tackle to guard. And they rushed. I don't want to exaggerate. I think it was almost 300 yards against Mater Dei in that championship game.
There's Pierce Clarkson. He's done for the rest of the game. How about Bosco now? 10 plays of more than 10-plus yards to Mater Dei's 3, and yet it's a 3-0 ball.
So when you look at those stats, you probably think Bosco's up by 2 scores, right? And that's why I thought it was so critical for Mater Dei to get points down here, because they haven't been able to move the ball and drive the field at all.
Little pistol now with Cameron Jones, and a flag goes up. That's Cameron with a C. They also have a Cameron with a K, who's a wide receiver. Where's number 88?
I couldn't tell if someone jumped early or offside.
Dead ball. Encroachment on the defense, number 42. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, first down.
Well, now Mater Dei is taking a page out of St. John Bosco on defense in the first half.
And that's Aiden Breland, who, again, guy we've been knowing about since he was in middle school, who came in with so much hype, I'll use the word, and needs to make some plays.
Jones barrels his way down to the 6-yard line. It'll bring up 2nd and short.
We got Kingston Viliamo Asa down there. He's got 2 touchdowns this year receiving, so watch out for him potentially leaking out of the backfield. But right now, just Bosco football, just smash mouth. Be more tough than Mater Dei is. Right between the tackles, they're tired, they're gassed. Let's see what we can do.
And it's Jones trying to jump over for the first down. He winds up losing a yard, so it'll bring up 3rd and 3.
Mater Dei's defense rises up right there. Nasir White, it might be the first time we've called Nasir. He was the star of the Bishop Gorman game, had a huge game against Centennial. Just kind of an athletic freak, but dives in there, makes a big play. You got to get Jones at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, that's his 16th tackle of the season for a loss, Nasir White. He has 23 total tackles on the season. What a percentage.
Makes him count, right?
Big 3rd down coming up here. Sanchez in relief. What a story this would be. Everybody.
Then we got to get the ball and score again.
It's going to be a 4th down and 2. Look at all the Mater Dei fans here.
I mean, you got this far by just being physical and tough. Obviously, Mater Dei, man, they can rise up, though. Call timeout pretty soon.
4 minutes to go, and they'll call the timeout right here. So inside of 4 minutes to go, 4th and 2.
Timeout. St. John Bosco.
St. John Bosco spends the timeout. All right, the running attack that we talked about on this drive has been amazing. Again, they came in over 1,300 yards rushing through 6 games, averaging 221 yards a game. You saw the catch there by McLean. Then to get things going with Warren, the change-up back.
It felt like Warren kind of got Bosco just going. It's too simplistic, but some of those runs he had were the face mask that he drew, and then just the run breaking 4 or 5 tackles. And it was Cam just gassing them, breaking 3 or 4 tackles every single time. Mater Dei's defense looked a little bit gassed until about the last, 3 or 4 plays here. They stepped up.
So this drive, 8 plays currently, 79 yards. We should give credit to Bosco's defense that survived the short field right after the penalty and turned Mater Dei over on downs.
Yeah.
Mater Dei's trying to do it here.
Yeah. I didn't like the 4th and 1 run. I like the call. I just, at that point in time, you got to just man up and just run right through a guy's face, as Marshawn Lynch would say, right? And it was a little bit, again, Jordan kind of stumbled a little bit and never got going. Huge stop.
There we go, and now another timeout is called, this time by Mater Dei. They saw the personnel coming out.
Mater Dei.
Wow, how about this? What did both coaches tell us in our call, especially on the far sideline there? Jason Negro said, this thing's a chess match.
Yeah.
You have to be really intelligent against Mater Dei, and Bruce Rollinson echoed the same thing against his nemesis on the other side. I shouldn't say nemesis. They're both pretty good friends.
Adversary. It's a rivalry for sure. And no, they're both so smart. I was kind of talking to them, and they were saying, hey, they run, when they have balls on the 40-yard line, they have this type of coverage. They're going to do this. And then when they literally have it broken down, they're watching every single play and tracking it, so they know every tendency. And then in this game, you break those tendencies, right? That's the whole idea of the chess match.
I was stunned by all the analytics that Bruce Rollinson talked about that go into this game. He said, I even checked the officials. Like Sunday night, we were given an email, both Jason and I, and I'm like, okay, who is our official here? Who is Jim Stickney? How is he called a game? Have we ever had him before? Because he's an Orange County Association official.
He's been good. They've been good.
Yeah, they have. All right, here we go. 4th and goal from the 2. Mater Dei has already stopped St. John Bosco on downs once in this game. Can they do it a second time? Pistol here, Jones behind Caleb Sanchez in relief of the injured Pierce Clarkson. It's Jones. Jones hurls a man and he's in. Touchdown, Braves.
And that is a downhill run by a downhill running back. Cameron Jones, that whole drive is about Bosco just being a little more physical, maybe a little tougher on that particular drive, and we have ourselves a ball game. Steve already did, but now the score kind of shows it.
9 plays, 85 yards. It took 326. Credit the defense to get Mater Dei off the field on downs after the short field. Cam Jones has his 9th touchdown run of the season, and he does it on 4th and 2. And the extra point is through, and we have us a brand new ball game with 3:42 to go in the third quarter.
Yeah, just some nice blocking. And there's just men among men up front in that just huge little rugby scrum, offense and defensive line, just huge collisions. And if you go and look at Mater Dei and Bosco, everyone will tell you, man, yeah, the skill players are nice, but it's the linemen up front that make the difference. And both those two teams are just huge up front. They're physical. And those collisions all night long have been kind of fun to watch from up here.
If I was Caleb Sanchez and I won this game in relief, I'm showing up to the Bellflower campus on Monday morning in a fur coat and a top hat. Probably in Washington's Camaro as well. Or Lincoln. Who's the guy? Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Brand new game.
It's a great movie.
It now becomes a 15-minute and 42-second game here. A battle of attrition.
Now we see, what Elijah Brown can do, right? Can he answer that touchdown? We've kind of labeled him the high school version of Tom Brady. He does not lose games, and he's kind of Mr. Clutch. They've kind of done a nice job of keeping him in check, and obviously those receivers, you see them, even when those receivers catch a pass, they're getting hit and taken down right away. Not a lot of separation. Able to run the ball a little bit at times with Davidson and Frazier, Ajon, but Bosco's defense, they've been as advertised for me.
It took 6 drives, but Bosco's offense finally gets it in. Again, an offense that has been outscoring teams big time, coming in 291 to 31. We talked about their defense as a starting unit coming in, having only given up 1 offensive touchdown. Again, Allen's the only team to score more than 1 touchdown against them.
Yeah.
One of them was a scoop and score.
If I'm Mater Dei, I might look to go with a little more Frazier this drive. Remember, he had some of those runs, and he gives you a little bit more explosiveness. And Davidson is that power guy, but takes him a little bit longer to get going against that Bosco front that closes so fast. Those holes open up and close super quickly. Frazier might be a guy I might try to see if he can do some things on this drive.
Ajon Bryant, Nate Frazier are back deep here, awaiting this kickoff by Marcus Lee. They'll usually have 2 kickers kick, depending on where they want to target the ball to. The other is Ignacio Fonseca. He didn't have a touchback, though. Marcus Lee has all the touchbacks, and a touchback would be really really good right now for the Braves. You look at that Braves sideline. They make the trek down about 22 miles from Bellflower, which is just south of downtown Los Angeles. A little southeast, if you will.
Yeah, confused at what the delay is. It is not related to the game being on TV. Let me just put that out there right now for those who like to complain about that. Establish that.
So, no Sylvester, no Clarkson in the second half. Ty Lee is out, the UCLA-bound safety. Here's a deep kick, chasing John Bryant to the corner. He's got it. He's across the 10, gets to the 14, and just gets drilled. Meet Jason Fausto Ramos, who's headed to Stanford on a football scholarship.
Yeah, Jason's had a really nice year, kind of playing a new position. I call it the Court Williams role because he played it so well, Ohio State. But when he was at Bosco, he was kind of that hybrid linebacker, safety, and covered. And when they beat Mater Dei, kind of upset them. It was him on
foul, blindside block on the receiving team, number 28. We're going to have to distance to the goal. First down.
Wow, instead of starting the drive at the 15, Elijah Brown has to come out with the football resting at the 7. And Elijah Brown, last year's Max Preps National Sophomore of the Year. He had 2,500 passing yards, 30 touchdowns, and led the Monarchs to a national championship. This young man wants to go back-to-back. He's the first Max Preps National Sophomore of the Year for Mater Dei since J.T. Daniels. But he struggled since that 5-for-5 start. He's been 2 for 6 since.
Yeah. Oh, Jamal Johnson, Celis Williams, Aaron Wood. Those guys have been locking out Mater Dei's receivers.
They're going to run on first down. Look how physical.
That was a physical run.
Wow.
Is that Davidson or Frazier? I couldn't even see. It happened so quickly.
That is the sophomore Davidson.
That's who he is right there. That's the guy I wanted to see on 4th and 1. And we heard that pop from up here. Goodness. 2nd and 5, but he was met. There's the hole. Bam.
And it's not the first guy that brings him down either.
Because Devin Bryant can lay the wood too, and that's who he met in the hole.
Yep. Devin Bryant had a big sack last year at Panish Family Stadium in this game. 2nd down and 5.
Not much down the field. We saw Spencer Shannon get loose one time, but these receivers, not much open down the field. It's been kind of having a dink and dunk a lot.
Long count, play action. Brown has plenty of time, and he's going to throw on the run and takes the easy one to Jack Ressler, who's got a first down catch up at the 30.
I kind of like that. I kind of like getting Elijah. I don't know if it was intentional, but get him outside the pocket a little bit. He has that capability to get outside the pocket right there, right? It's a straight drop, but he kind of feels pressure, jumps up. There's Jack Ressler. Give Elijah a little bit more of an option than just the straight back because Bosco's coming, and there hasn't been much open down the field, middle of the field, I should say.
Kid never worries. What did Rollo tell us? He was more worried this week when I sat down next to him on Monday about an AP class and finishing that up than he was on this game. He plays so cool, calm, and collected. From the 31, they pick up the blitz, hand off to Davison, and he dives forward off tackle right. For a couple of yards, he runs into Kingston Viliamu Asa.
He doesn't watch a lot of football, Elijah Brown. He got offers from Georgia and Bama the same week. I go, hey, what do you think? You like the offense? Is it fit? He goes, I don't know. I watch Bama a little bit because of Bryce, but I don't know what Georgia does. I'm like, what do you do? Do you ever not watch football? He's like, God, I do other things. And
he's not on social media from what we understand. Neither is his dad, who's the JV offensive coordinator for the Monarchs.
It's kind of refreshing. He's not a kid who's, constantly tweeting out everything he's doing.
2nd and 8.
Dave Anderson said they're kind of doing the Air Force, 30 seconds in between every play right now, right?
Tied at 7 between 1 and 2 in the nation. Hand off, and that's Davison. Boy, he put that ball out.
The ball was on the ground, yeah.
The only turnover of the game belongs to St. John Bosco. Clarkson threw an interception at the goal line on what was St. John Bosco's first drive. That stop made by Jordan Lockhart, an Ole Miss commit.
Yeah, a little quicker pace right there.
Yep, 3rd and short. Davison, he just lets the hole develop, right?
Yeah.
And burst right across for a first down. Yeah, he's something else. He's still got 2 years to go.
Yes, sir.
Didn't play much last year. Remember they had Malik Brown in here, so the human joystick was down at USC playing for Lincoln Riley, who was here. We saw him here.
Saw him and Dante Williams, the DB coach.
He has since departed. Did we hear he took a helicopter in the game? Okay, that's Lincoln Riley, we're told, took a helicopter.
For real?
Yeah. That's at least what we've heard through Twitter and Texas.
If it's on Twitter, it's got to be true then.
First and 10 at the 42.
That's
This
a burst.
Nate
That is a nice
Frazier.
burst right there by Frazier.
He winds up picking up 7 yards on first down. That's what they want to do is win
a
first
really
down.
good drive for Mater Dei. Whatever happens from here on, this has been an effective drive. They started from, their 10, 15-yard line, but Frazier's that initial burst, he came to Mater Dei as more of like a receiver, and I saw him playing a lot of DB/safety in the summer. Didn't sure where he was going to play. Moved him to running back, and he's been lights out. Off by Tennessee and a few other schools lately, and man, 10-7, he can go, Steve.
That's going to be it for the third quarter of play. Both teams wound up possessing the football twice in the third quarter. We're going to go to the fourth, as good as advertised tonight at the Santa Ana Bowl in the heart of Orange County. These two Trinity League programs, so storied, are tied at 7 with the final 12 minutes up on the board. Don't go anywhere. Mater Dei, St. John Bosco going down to the very end.
The world program diagnosed with lung.
Be bored, but let's send it down to Anna, who's got more on Elijah Brown, who's trying to lead the Monarchs now on a go-ahead score.
Steve, every offensive huddle tonight, Elijah Brown takes leadership and owns them. He's coaching up his offense, specifically his receivers. Now head coach Bruce Rollinson talks about his leadership specifically this year as an upperclassman, as a junior, stepping up and owning that quarterback position. You're seeing it tonight. And so far, he's handling adversity pretty well, proving why he's 23-0.
Yeah, and he's got a very young cast around him. That's the thing that bothered Bruce Rollinson. Said we're really young. We're still making youthful mistakes, double digits in penalties, but they've cleaned it up on this special night. From the 49 to open up the fourth quarter, it's a second down and short, and that's Frazier, and Frazier eludes a man, and I think he's got enough for a first down here. The spot on the far sideline says he got it. Runs into Mateo Uyunglele.
So impressed with Frazier and how he runs. Again, not a natural running back, at least not till this year, but he's got more than just straight-ahead speed. He's physical. He can make a guy miss in the open field. And if he gets just a little bit of daylight, man, he is gone. He's probably the fastest guy in the field tonight. I'm impressed.
You know what I thought coming up? I was like, wouldn't it be ironic and funny if this thing came down to a field goal kicker? Right? The two teams have blown out everybody through 6 games. And Mater Dei would be the advantage there, right? Because Medina kicked a game winner in a crucial spot against Gorman.
But I think 30 yards is probably his max right now, right? Bosco's guy has maybe a little bit of stronger legs. I don't know.
And Lee, they let him do 1 in the Central Catholic game for practice. There's Frazier, and he gets wrapped up by Peyton Woodyard and brought down, but he's got enough for another first down. Move those chains.
Such a fun game to watch. Again, it's like one of those baseball games where neither team can score, and then once one team scores, the other team comes right back and scores, right? Mater Dei couldn't move the ball all night. All of a sudden, Bosco comes down and scores, and now here comes Mater Dei driving 36-yard line and looking really, really strong right now.
What a block by Jordan Davison on Kingston Viliamu Asa to open up just enough hole. That was something else.
And this, I mentioned Bosco just being tough, physical. For me, this is old school Mater Dei football going back to the 80s, early 90s before they air raid one.
First down, play action. Brown throws it, and it is dropped. Anovue. Boy, it was right in there, and it came out.
Yeah, was that
a penalty?
I don't know about a penalty, but Jamal Johnson, who I like a lot.
Oh, he had a chance to pull it in.
Yeah, don't start saying penalty when you drop the football, right? I mean, that was really good coverage. The throw, you couldn't hand it off to a guy any better than that. And that would have been a huge play because you're gashing him on the run. You take a chance on a downfield throw. You got to bring that in.
2nd and 10. Inside of 11 minutes to go. Clock stopped here. On 2nd down and 10 on the slant, the throw, and he gets an opportunity to redeem himself. Anovue, and it's Bertonio Weatherton out of his defensive line spot making the stop.
A lot of times you see this, and Sean McVay does it. It drives me crazy. You have a negative first down play, and the next play you want to run the football, right? I thought Mater Dei was going to go back to running the football. They think they could stop. Now it's 3rd and long. So I like that they went back to the throw, and obviously a nice throw, nice job by Jordan.
Here's a run, and that is Asia Bryant. Tried to reverse field and then gets dropped. Viliamu Amuasa has got an offer from Texas A&M, Georgia, number 27, making the stop.
Just keep going. Keep going.
Yeah.
A 30. He was the first guy in the 2024 class that Ohio State offered in the whole entire country. And said Ohio State's not a bad little program. So,
and again, not a part of this game last year when it was 1 versus 3 in Bellflower because he was coming off the torn ACL. Had a great year as a freshman, had to sit out his sophomore year. Here's the 12th play.
In this field against that game, final game of the COVID season.
Behind the chains on a 2nd and 12. 9:43 and counting. 7-7 between 1 and 2 in the nation. Brown, and he winds up handing it off, and that's Frazier with don't make it Davison with not a lot of running room.
That was a little slow developing. The handoff was, the snap was low, the handoff was low, the run was a little bit on the slower side, so you figure Monterey probably needs at least 5-7 yards to make their field goal kicker a little more comfortable. And I think Rawlinson said probably 30 yards, maybe 35 on a good day is max. So
yeah, the only one he's kicked this year, the game winner against Bishop Gorman. We really wasn't quite sure what he was doing because he was brand new to the sport. Big 3rd down and 10. Can the Braves force him into a decision here? Inside of 9 minutes to go in the 4th. Brown play action. Rolls out. Here comes the pressure. Throws on the run. Man open inside the 10. A great first down catch. It's Marcus Harris, the sophomore.
I mean, that was Aaron Williams on that. And I was thinking to myself, in my head, anywhere but there, right? When I saw him start to kind of roll to the right, I don't know how Williams lost track of him because he had him locked up at the line of scrimmage. Initially, right there, you see Elijah kind of progressing. He wasn't covered. He kind of just got loose down the field. Huge throw. Again, that's why for me, a quarterback, got to be able to remove your feet and extend a play. I don't want a statue back there, and Elijah can do that.
First non-diving catch of the year, I think, for Marcus Harris, right?
So now you can run the ball through the middle if you wanted to, right? You can set that up now with the pass.
First and goal from the 8, coming up on 8 minutes to go in a tie ball game. Don't need the field goal kicker yet. Davison, he got hit from behind. He's downhill to the 5.
That was Bryant, right? Number 2, dove in there and got him. Davison had a load of steam going. If Bryant doesn't slow him down a little bit, he's probably still running.
2nd and goal upcoming from the 5-yard line. Some personnel coming on and off the field for the Braves. Max Amasio in the middle comes off.
Man, this is such a fun game. I mean, this is a level of football that I don't think you're ever going to really see at the high school level.
Well, Mater Dei hasn't scored since they took advantage of the interception in the first quarter and marched at 99 3/4 yards down the field for at the time a 7-0 lead. No offense since.
You got Spencer Shannon.
Had a big catch earlier.
Right? You almost wondered, can he little curl route? No, he's staying on the block.
2nd down for the end zone. Wow. Looking for a Noveway.
That was never open.
Woodyard there on the coverage.
Yeah, I think Peyton wants that one back. Just from our angle, it looked like he was throwing the ball to Peyton. I mean, it was a slant, but we saw Woodyard, number 7. He was the guy that was open. And I'm not sure what Elijah was reading on that play, but it was a quick hitter. There was the slant, and it looked like Woodyard was the intended receiver, right?
Second guy in coverage was Jamal Johnson. So now you got to make one more play here. 3rd and goal from the 5. Doubtful if this is 4-down territory in this situation. 7:18 to go.
Unless you get to like the 1-inch yard line, right? But I would have kept the ball on the ground.
Here we go. 3 receivers bunched up left. Shannon, the tight end, with his hand on the ground right. Lone set back Davison. Noveway in motion. Brown takes the snap, looking left for Noveway, and he bobbled it right at the 2-yard line. Woodyard in coverage. Oh, he almost had that. That would have been an outstanding acrobatic catch. There wasn't a lot of room to fit it in.
That is a really, really small window. I think that's a ball that a New Wave can catch. It's going to be short of the goal line anyway. It would have been about the 1.5-yard line. And now you're wondering, hey, do you go for it or you kick the field goal?
Yeah.
Again, it felt like Monterey physically was kind of coming up, and I would have kept the ball on the ground those last 2 plays. Not in hindsight. In my head, I was verbalizing that in my head, if that makes any sense.
Important kick now for
Huge kick.
Medina. He had the biggest of the year to date against Gorman, the game winner. From 22 yards, hash mark right. They come after. after it. He sends it right into the night and just gets it inside the left upright.
Soccer player with a 4.7 GPA, getting it done.
2 huge kicks on the season, which in the end may get him a national championship. Still a long way to go. 7:10 to go here in the fourth.
Again, 20 fans. There was so much going on, and there was so much. I mean, that was 1 and 2, but it was the number 1 and number 2 players in the country too. DJ and Bryce. People don't remember. Yeah. They were 1 and 2, and there was a little bit of a friendly rivalry, but they were always pitted up against each other. Right? Who was better? I'm a Bryce guy, but I'm a DJ guy. So yeah, that was fun. I'm out of breath just thinking about some of the plays I saw in that game.
This one a defensive battle. The only holdover in that game as the kick was fielded at the 25. Would be Mateo Uyunglele. He got a chance to play in that game. And a return there by Hoy Hansen, Dr. Hansen's brother. The two came over from Servite. They had a brief cup of coffee in the summer with Los Al before going up to 605 to Bellflower. And so here's Sanchez in relief of Pierce Clarkson, who only threw an interception. It was scoreless at the half when this kid comes in, right? They're down 7-0. He leads them on a 9-play, 85-yard drive, and they convert on 4th and 2 for a touchdown run.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of Cam Jones and Khalil Warren on this drive, right? So, of course, the first play is
play action.
Play action.
He's in trouble. He's dropped back at the 34, and that's going to be a loss of 5 yards.
And that, again, you're probably trying to get in the head of modern day, break a tendency. Okay, they know what we're going to do. Let's go ahead and try to do something a little tricky. And it didn't work. I like Coach Lowe. I'm not second guessing him. I know what he was thinking. But now that you're behind the chains, now it's kind of hard to run the football because you're looking at 2nd and long. So now it almost forced you to keep throwing the ball in this drive.
Ezra Funa.
The best we've ever seen. They rose up, man. Their defense, they were. And that's about the third. The best high speed I've ever been. I was nervous. People don't remember. Yeah. They were 1 and 2, and there was a little bit of a hard to run the football because you're looking at 2nd and long. So now it almost forced you to keep throwing the ball in this drive.
Ezra Funa, who's got an offer to Kansas, who's playing well.
Nice pickup right there.
Cam Jones, hey, you can't be shoving like that in a game like this. But the margin of error is razor thin. Funa, who had that last stop. So now brings up 3rd and long here for Sanchez. He gets tested one more time.
Yeah, at this point, this is when modern day brings in their pass rushers. They have a specific package for that.
Kind of takes Cam Jones out of the equation here.
You know, it does, but I wouldn't be shocked if they do keep the ball on the ground right now. Just because, shoot, last drive, 8 yards was nothing for those guys to pick up.
3rd and 8. St. John Bosco has not converted a 3rd down in this game. Here comes the pressure. Sanchez launches it up, and it almost got picked by Jelani Davis. It'll be 4th down back at the 40. They almost got their 2nd pick of a Brave quarterback here tonight.
I don't think that's what Bosco was hoping to get out of that drive. Jelani Davis, man, you got to bring that in, right? Some of these players, they're so good, and when I'm evaluating them, I have them on a pedestal, right? Woodyard is an elite safety. So was Jelani Davis. Both those two guys had a chance to make interceptions. Try to get Jalil McClain open deep down the field. Had a little bit of a step.
Another punt. Lee, they almost got that one. He gets it away. And it's going to be down at the 29-yard line. 5:33 to go. Modern Day has a timeout left. Bosco can stop it twice. Elijah Brown trying to get to an unprecedented 24-0. Do it without throwing a touchdown pass. And be 3-0 against St. John Bosco. And you think about the teams he's beaten in that streak, right?
Yes.
He's beaten Bosco twice. He's beaten Centennial twice.
Okay.
He beat Bishop Gorman. Then he beat a great Servite team 3 times in the calendar year because of the spring COVID season last year. I mean, almost half your 23 wins.
Duncanville, Texas, who was a top 10 team last year when they played them. So right now you have options, right? If you're offensive, do you want to keep running the ball, maybe try to kill that clock? Do you let Elijah make some throws down the field, right? I could probably run the football right now, but
the week started with him more worried about his AP class and finishing it up. He might get a win over the number 1 ranked team. Mateo Uyunglele has a stop after a 1-yard run.
you want to get at least one first down if you're Mater Dei. You had a great defensive stop, but that last Bosco drive was kind of set back by that first down play, but you want to get at least one first down this drive for Mater Dei. Look at that playbook right now. I mean, that thing's got to be wide open, right? You got to find something in there because nothing's been easy. It's been like root canal trying to move the ball for both teams.
Mater Dei, in essence, had a couple of weeks to prepare. They had a bye going into the Jay Serra game, and they admitted, we worked on St. John Bosco before we worked on Jay Serra. Then we stopped down, we worked on Jay Serra. They only won last week 21-13 in their Trinity League opener. 2nd and 9. Play action, throw left. That's going to be way too high out of bounds. He was looking for Jack Wrestler on the sideline. Bring up 3rd and 9.
And not a high percentage throw right there. Jack Wrestler, I like him more in the slot. We kind of get loose a little bit, not so much down the field.
Got to get him off the field here.
I mean, this is a huge 3rd down because I still feel like Bosco can run the ball if they want to when they get the ball back. If you're Mater Dei, you got to almost kind of play. You want to play a little bit of keep away, right?
Could be the play of the ball game here for Mater Dei's offense, leading by a field goal in 1 versus 2 in the nation.
I feel like they pass protected Elijah pretty well. He hasn't been sacked that I've noticed. So
Bryant coming after him. They give it to Davison. He's got the edge. He gets a block, and he's got a first down. Oh, what a call!
Yes, it was. Man, when he got that edge, right? The whole stadium on this side saw nothing but open field. Nice job sealing out that. I think that might have been left tackle DeAndre Carter. Kind of sealed that one. Anybody have a chance? Right there. Great block by DeAndre. That's a 330-pound monster on the edge.
Boy, you gained 17 yards on a 3rd and 9 run. It might just be your day. Ball rest up at the Mater Dei 48-yard line. Coming up on 14 minutes to go.
Now
I think it's 4 minutes, rather.
Then you can just keep the ball on the ground, right? Kill that clock. You got Frazier. Davidson getting a rest.
On 1st down, Frazier looks for a hole to develop. Nothing there.
A little hesitation right there, trying to find something.
Maybe he was out too. Kamori House is out as well, one of the linebackers for the Braves. So now they have a couple of starters. House out. Ty Lee didn't come back, as Anna told us, after a first-half injury.
House is fun. He's probably their most athletic linebacker. He can run.
And he's out with a thigh injury this week. We didn't even see him against Kahuku, so he's been trying to nurse that back. And again, these two teams likely to meet again on November the 25th at the Rose Bowl in the Division I championship. They're on a collision course. Centennial might have something to say about it.
Every time I guarantee Centennial coaches are deceiving.
Well, the Survey coaches were last year. Here's Frazier trying to get the edge left. And he gets down to the 45-yard line. They're gonna mark him out right there. And it's going to bring up another important 3rd down here for the Monarchs.
And there's no disrespect to my friend Matt Logan, guys over there.
Just the 7th drive of the game for Bruce Rollinson's team. He's in his 34th year. He's not sweating at all. Well, Jason Negro's team needs a takeaway, a big stop here. Mater Dei with a very, very young team. Last week they were playing from behind after the opening kickoff. Jay Serra got into the end zone to make it 6-0 quickly. Big 3rd down here. Brown almost lost the snap, gives it to Frazier, and he's across for a first down. Now,
Has Elijah did he one-hand that thing?
That would save the day. They're going to have to use some timeouts here.
Yeah, and that's not the 3rd. That's B.J. Tolo, who has snapped more balls than anybody in high school. But did Elijah just kind of one-hand?
Oh my goodness.
Never really handed it to him. Just Frazier getting up the field.
When Frazier was in the right spot, concentrated to get the ball, and then concentrated a second time to get the first down.
You never know how a player is going to react in a game like this. He hasn't been here before, right? Frazier, really nice career over at St. Pius, but This is a different level of football, man. He's came to play.
Inside of 2 minutes to go. St. John Bosco has 2 timeouts left. They're going to get a whole lot of run right here. And early movement, my goodness. Vaca Hansen again. So the game about to end the way it started, partner.
You said it. Bosco's got 2 timeouts left, right? So I guess they just used one of them on Vaca Hansen with it offsides.
Should move it up 5 yards here to be a first down and 5, making things even more difficult for the Braves.
Dead ball, encroachment on the defense, number 8. 5-yard penalty, repeat, first down.
All right, so that had stopped the clock momentarily. Let's see if the officials are going to wind it. They are. So now that actually plays to the advantage of modern day here. You can take some time off the clock.
And I'm milking that clock. I'm snapping it with 2 seconds left, right?
Yeah, Bosco. They'll call one after this first down play, no doubt. Difference in this game, a field goal by Medina moments ago.
Fucking Cole Medina.
7-0 Modern Day at the half. It was 7-7. It was Davison, and down he goes. Boy, he just gets hit right at the 45. It's Aaron Williams out of his cornerback spot. And there's the timeout as we expected for the Braves to call.
Timeout, St. John Bosco.
They'll have 1 left, 1:16 to go.
Yeah, so I'm not good at math, but you can stop the clock one more time. There's a minute 16 and it's second down, right?
If Modern Day can hold on, they'll go to 7-0, and there'll be no debate about who's number 1.
That's a really nice play. Aaron Williams, again, he's a athletic outside cover corner coming into the box and stopping a 210-pound running back just right on contact.
Let's remind the folks, St. John Bosco's number 1 in the nation by max preps. Modern Day's number 2 in the nation by max preps, but it's flipped in the state of California. Oh, algorithms, huh?
Yeah.
You got Modern Day number 1 in California, St. John Bosco number 2 as you look at the preps, max preps, but this is where the debate ends tonight.
Yeah.
We can start talking about it again in November.
Cal High Sports, which is my buddy Mark Tennis, who's actually here tonight. He had Modern Day 1, and I think we talked about this before. I've always felt the same way. Whoever won it the year before, just start them off. And if the talent is equal, which these two, it's always going to be equal. So when I sent my little top 10 Southern section to Anna, I always had Modern Day 1. Not because I thought they were better, just because they won it last year. Just made it easy on myself. And they're going to play, so there was no real pressure to figure out who's number 1, who's number 2. They're going to play anyway. Just go with who won it last year.
Monarchs have won 4 of the last 6 meetings over Bosco. You get 5 more yards, this thing's over. A first down will win it. Bosco, and they're going to bring down Davison in the backfield for a loss. It's Josh Lefotu, the 305-pound senior. Final timeout here. And now you got a chance because it's third down here, right?
You lost 2 yards. I don't like the play call. You're going horizontal. Get up the field, right? They've been all night. Not all night. I think that the last couple drives they've had success running directly at them. I don't want those guys going horizontal, sideways. Get up the field.
So if you throw here and it's incomplete pass, you give Bosco an opportunity here with the clock stop, right? It would bring up a fourth down. You can punt it away. Give them a long field.
Yeah. So do the math. There's minute 10 left right now, right?
No timeouts.
Let's say they get stopped. Say they run the football, and then it's a 4-second play. How much time would Bosco get?
Very, very little.
Yeah.
So you have to expect this to be a run play here.
I would run it to the wide side of the field, right? Kill some clock, and if you have to punt it, you're punting the ball from the 35-yard line, which I usually don't like to do that, but in this situation, I definitely would.
And then again, if if Modern Day gets the first down, it's over, and Quisadamas was right again, and it comes down to the kickers, huh?
Absolutely. You nailed that.
3rd and 7. Kickers haven't been challenged all year. Trying to get to 24-0 is Elijah Brown. Davison, and this one is over, and he's going to run for the back-breaking score. Wasn't it a song? Come Monday, they'll be number 1 after that.
I love that song. Who sings that one? Is that old school or is that new school?
Oh, is it Buffett?
Jimmy
I think it's
Buffett.
Buffett.
So strong, so physical. Yeah, really nice run by Jordan. You saw it all on Jordan Davidson. Some of the decisiveness, getting up the field. That's the play I wanted the play before. Get up the field.
His sixth touchdown of the season. It comes on third down. How about that? When you have to have it.
You have to have it. The whole stadium knows what's coming, right? Really well blocked. I don't think he ever got touched. Once he broke containment at the line of scrimmage, but I think he got through the hole. Nice block downfield. Nice cut outside. Jordan Davidson, just a sophomore. He's one of the top 3 sophomore running backs in the entire 2025 class, Steve.
I think you see why they wanted to keep it at the Santa Ana Bowl and have that hometown, home crowd feel.
Yeah.
And come Monday, they're going to be number 1, not only in the state of California, but in the United States.
But just to say, just to be a Debbie Downer, 3 of the 4 times these 2 teams have played in the league and in the final, the team who lost the league game won it. And the only time it did it was 2017, and that 2017 team wasn't going to lose to anybody.
Look at Jordan Davison tonight, 22 rushes, 114 yards. And oh, by the way, what was his average coming in?
What was it?
It was 114 yards per game.
So he nailed it. That is just weird when that happens, right?
61
and not
seconds
making excuses, not to cut you off. You look great in this pink, by the way.
Thank you. You're pink too.
My wife picked it out. Some guys for Bosco will be back, right? Pierce Clarkson will be back the next time these 2 teams play. Kamari House, who can bang. Chauncey Sylvester, explosive running back. Ty Lee missed the whole second half. So, again, not making excuses. Monterey was a better team tonight. They honestly were.
Monarchs could have made some excuses, too, that they had some guys with the flu. This is DeAndre Moore. Boy, he was supposed to be the X factor in this one. Not a lot of touches for the Louisville receiver, and then he goes down. Man, talk about adding an injury to insult right here.
He was my X factor. You know, I thought he was the guy who they weren't going to be able to cover. And you know what? I obviously I'm going to credit the secondary, but I thought that modern day pass rush, especially in the first half when Pierce was back there, man, he didn't have a lot of time. They were swarming him, and there just wasn't a lot of time for him to get the ball down the field. Second half with Caleb, again, it was mostly, I think he only threw the ball 3 times maybe. It was all just running the football. Let's see, Caleb airs it out right here.
Sanchez throws to the far sideline, in and out of the hands of Izzy Polk. 50 seconds to go. 10-point game. It was 7-0. Modern Day at the break took advantage of a Clarkson interception at the end zone.
That was Chuck McDonald on the breakup. And another one of those really good-looking sophomore corners that Modern Day has. That's my guy, Darnell Lacey, right there, the DB coach for Bosco, talking to Aaron.
Sanchez to the sideline, and Denham's got to catch the senior, his 11th grab of the season. Stop the clock. There is, DeAndre Moore is down now.
Oh, man.
And that looks like an ankle, and the modern day trainers are the first to attend to him because he's down near the sideline. I hope that's just a cramp.
Hopefully it wasn't something that happened on that kickoff, right?
Timeout.
DeAndre Moore originally was an Oklahoma commit when he was over at La Salle playing with Makai Lemon and Malachi Nelson. He transferred for his senior year here.
So here's how good he is. Again, I feel like I cut you off again. But Zachariah Branch, he's our #1 wide receiver in the country from Bishop Gorman. You know, he's a 10-3 Roger Pleasant type speed guy. And Rollins on our call said he thinks DeAndre Moore is the better football player, the better receiver. He's going to present more challenges for us. We don't really have an answer for him.
Well, the top 10 kids in the nation, Malachi Nelson there. Yeah. Salamitos is #3 along with Nico, who we're going to see next week. I'm excited about that. Malachi will probably have his undefeated La Salle team they've got a big one against Edison on Thursday.
They do.
They'll probably be in the Division I class and draw maybe one of these teams in a quarterfinal game. And Moore
I think that's the composite ranking. I think we actually have Mateo in our top 10 as well. So another Southern Section kid. God, that doesn't look good at all.
No, so now your list of injuries are Sylvester, Clarkson, Lee, Kamori House, and now DeAndre Moore. And again, Trinity League play just, continues here. There are no off weeks whatsoever. And for St. John Bosco, next week they take on a Jay Serra team that almost knocked off Mater Dei.
Not want to play Bosco next week.
Yep.
You're going to see some angry human beings.
Meantime, Mater Dei's got a tough one against Orange Lutheran.
Orange
next
Lutheran's good.
So.
Yeah. No, we said at halftime, I think it bears repeating. Mater Dei, just knowing how they're wired, they've been hearing all year long. Even for me, Bosco's defense, one of the best we've ever seen. Yep. They rose up, man. Their defense, they were special tonight.
Only 8 drives in the game for Bosco, held to 1 touchdown.
Oh!
And a high throw. It was Darius Dixon.
Almost jumped that thing. Kid was lucky that ball sailed a little bit, because if he throws it a little bit lower, Dixon, it's a pick 6.
Penalties hurt Bosco, the injuries as well. Mater Dei had a lot of guys down with the flu bug, so they could have made lots of excuses tonight. But the Monarchs are going to get another win.
This is what Mater Dei does, right? And it's funny, I was just talking to Bosco people, and I think, and even non-Bosco Mater Dei people.
Aiden Elegon, the second with a catch for a first down. He's out of bounds at the 50.
If you talk to people not affiliated with either side, everyone picked Bosco to win it. If I talked to other high school coaches and just people who know football, everyone thought, hey, Bosco. But they kept saying, but you know what? This is what Mater Dei does. Mater Dei has they figure out ways to win games that they probably shouldn't. And we've seen them do it so many times.
I think you saw a little smirk the last time we showed Bruce Rollinson, a little smirk on his face. Like, even though it's a young game, a young team, we know we can do it. Sanchez flings it, and Elegon's got his second catch, back-to-back catches, 35-yard line, 18.8 to go.
Yeah, Mater Dei will give up this, right? Right now the clock is their friend more so than giving up big chunks of yards.
And spiking it is Sanchez. Second down and 10, stopping the clock with 11.9 to go.
I think that's. I wish more teams did that. Spike the ball. You don't have a timeout because you're not going to need all 4 downs anyway. So most people just kind of spike it when it's late in the game when I set up a field goal. But do it early on a drive, save time, and you're going to get 3, 2, second, third, and fourth down to get your 10 yards.
A well-played game, though, man. This was really well fun to watch. These are 2 very talented teams. Sanchez being pressured by Aiden Breland, just fires it up, and it's going to get intercepted. Darius Dixon. And that's going to finish off the Braves. I think it was Dixon that finished off Servite last year in the championship game at the Vet.
Yeah, my biggest fear was the return and then someone just getting hammered.
And that's going to do it. Number 2 knocks off number 1 in the Trinity League, and this very young Mater Dei team is 7-0, and come Monday, they'll be the number 1 team not only in the state of California, but the number 1 team in the nation. The defending national champions just reload.